Okay, ready to start?
Yep.
Ahem. Hello, and welcome to the REL 9B and 9C Week 11 recap. I checked, I have the number right, I am back on track for what date it is. I'm Kiss Blue.
And I'm SP Dwiggy.
And as your quick reminder, Gengar will not be with us for the remainder of this season, as he is quite busy with work. So, without further ado, let's get into 9B. The first game on the list, a game that I actually watched, Yeti to Conquer versus the Gads Gobstoppers.
I unfortunately did not get to see this one, so I look forward to your analysis.
Now, sadly, Ravenpo did lose this game, which is sad for a few reasons. For one thing, he would have been pretty much locked. I think he would have been completely locked in for the Stunty Cup had he won this game. But I didn't really go in last week expecting a win here. I was hoping for I was hoping for the win, let's be real, but I wasn't expecting it. But having watched this game, it was actually incredibly close to getting the draw. We can see 2 expulsions to 1, 17 armor breaks to 15, and 1 death for the Gadstoppers. Yeti to Conquer inflicted 6 injuries, but Gadstoppers inflicted 4. And
Nice.
in fact, the Yeti to Conquer suffered 6 casualties. So, that those 4 injuries do not include fouls. Oh, it's important to keep in mind.
And you said that there were only 2 ejections. Well, I do see that the bomber got injured, but he had, was it Nabla Blackwart? Isn't that another secret weapon?
Yep, Nabla is a chainsaw. So I believe he had 4 secret weapons. I'm pretty sure both the bomber and the the ball and chain were injured, I believe.
Gotcha. So, but wow, 4 secret weapons, and I'll only have, 2 ejections. So yeah, he had 2 injuries and 2 ejections. Okay, that's less what I was thinking.
But yeah,
one of them survived the whole game. I was like, that's
but
crazy.
Yeah, on turn 14 or 15, this was a tied game. Ironmaster pulled off an insane 2-turn. It might have been a 3-turn actually, I don't remember. Still, a quick score that involved passing to an Ulf.
Wow. That's impressive.
That's the sort of game it was. And as testament to that, just look at the freaking SPP. You expect the Norse to get a lot of SPP against goblins, but look at all the SPP the goblins got.
Yeah, they got that's a 1 touchdown. A lot of people with injuries. So unfortunately, Ripper, he doesn't get to keep it, or I guess fortunately, depending on how you look at it.
No, Ripper,
and the MVP
Ripper
went on
earned that SPP. Don't you dare say otherwise.
It's a very good result.
Yeah, this may not have been the result I wanted to see, but it was still a great game. And Ravenpo's still probably going to end up going into the Stunty Cup playoff spot. It's pretty likely at this point. But, we'll talk about it later, maybe.
I'm knocking on wood right now.
Moving on. We have Click Click Splat versus the Pananimals, which was won by the Dark Elves 2-1.
Way to go, Dark Elves. I'm not biased at all.
Whoa, beat those lizards! Neither am I.
But so looks like 42 blocks to 39. It's surprising that the the Dark Elves were able to keep up with the lizards and
these Dark Elves completely outblocked the lizards.
Yeah.
9 armor breaks to 2, 7 removals to 0.
Yeah, it's
actually
that was
10 removals. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm wondering if the Agi 4 skink went out early, Rhodey 2, because he definitely got badly hurt. But That would be the one thing they could think of that would keep the Click Splat from actually being able to tie that game. Though Dark Elves is a good matchup for Lizards, as in
Mm-hmm.
that Lizards kind of struggle, especially with any Agi team, just because their Saurus can't really do anything, and then that leaves their Skinks exposed when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to playing the ball.
Of course, at the same time, they can completely outpower them without any worry. Like, I think this
Hmm.
is a matchup where it benefits the Lizard more as the TV increases.
Yeah, but with only one tackle and so much
Mm-hmm.
blodge on his skill players, it's it can get tough.
Yeah, it's hard to deal with Blodge if you don't have the tools to deal with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Moving on, we have the Bounce Castle Enthusiasts versus Rage Dwarf. With the Dwarves winning 3-0. That is a
That
huge win for
that
Dwarves.
that is crazy to me that they won 3-0. But I'm looking at the team that Bounce Castle Enthusiasts brought in. They only had 1140 TV. You're looking at it. They only had 4 levels on their team coming into this
Hmm.
game. So I'm wondering if other developed players have just died over the season, sadly. So if they're not going to be able to keep up with that much guard and mighty blow that low, I think, with against dwarves.
They
But
did get the Dwarves had some good armor dice as well.
yeah, 19 injuries out of 50
Yeah,
blocks.
that is just shy of a 40% armor break, which actually, I guess, with Mighty Blow against AV 8 and 7 is actually probably pretty close to how it should be. Hmm.
Yeah, I'm,
Anyway, they still got lots of armor breaks, and with the number of KOs, it would not surprise me if they got a lot of removals early.
yeah.
Although maybe not too many, given they have 50 blocks, and then that translated into an early lead.
Well, they do have 2 frenzy players, so that does add some blocks to it,
That is
especially if
true.
they're doing pushes. Um,
Still, when you
but
remove half of a team in 4 turns,
yeah,
usually you don't hit 50 blocks.
and it makes me think the KO
Mm-hmm.
comebacks weren't very great if it was going to be a 3-0 dwarf win, because dwarves are very slow and they
Mm-hmm.
can only really score that much
Mm-hmm.
when the field is open.
And this win might, asterisk, we'll get to it that later, have locked Ragedorf in for the playoff spot.
All right.
Okay. Next one is that's an admin game. That's an admin game. Elements of Style versus the Brotherhood.
That is a lot of damage on Elements of Style. Mistace lost his last,
Oh
or no, he
wow.
lost the War Dancer. He lost his developed War Dancer, Hydrogen.
Serves him right for playing Wood Elves. Oh, and you know what?
He
That means both of his War Dancers have ended up playing on other teams.
yeah, wow.
Because
And
the
so
other one ended
Hydrogen.
up on the Necro team, right?
Oh, well, at least they live on somehow. Um, but yeah, Hydrogen seems to have combusted, and he is no more.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's a reason they use helium instead. Although I guess, although to be fair, I guess as we were just saying, helium already died.
yeah. All right, and well, it's all up to aluminum now for the rest of the season,
Mm-hmm.
which we'll see if that works out for him. But not much damage on the rest of his team. The only other permanent injury was a loner lineman, so he can definitely come back from
Yeah,
that.
no one cares about loners.
But only 32 blocks, so that's not conceded. So that's actually not
Mm-hmm.
bad for an elf team.
Mm-hmm.
Only 2 KOs that he took, and the 5 Kazas, depending on when they came, can definitely makes you think that they came like mid game to late, since it's a 1-1 draw.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so he definitely played very well to have that much attrition and still get the draw out of
Mm-hmm.
it.
Okay. On that note, are there any teams you would like to look at?
Uh, let's take a look. Have we looked at who's in second in this one? Because we looked at Ragedorf. Oh,
It is Mistake.
let's look at the elements of style.
Okay. Let's do it. We gave him shit for having his players out of order, and he insisted that they were actually sorted by atomic number. But I'm pretty sure lithium. It. Let me put it this way: I'm pretty sure boron actually it has a lower atomic number than lithium. I actually might be getting it mixed up with something else. I know it's a noble
The, o-
gas.
the only thing I know about lithium is it's an awesome Nirvana track. Uh, so
Well, lithium is incredibly volatile, and we use it for all of our portable electronics.
well, we also use it for awesome one-turn scoring because he's movement 10, blotch step.
Yeah, this is the best one turner, almost. Um, it would be, I guess it would be better if it had Agi 5 leap. That would be the best one turner. Um,
Well, I mean it's not a bad start though.
yeah, no, it's still a really good one turner. I mean, any one turner is a good one turner. Let's be real.
Yeah, I would feel like you would want to give him leap anyway as your next level, just because if you have a reroll and you haven't used it at that point,
Mhm.
the leap's not that bad.
Yep, it's
Uh,
not. It's not like you are a gutter runner where you can take two heads.
yeah. So, but that would require like if you
Mhm.
didn't have the reroll left before you made that last sprint to the touch line, you could make the option. You have dodge and you have leap, whichever one makes you roll less dice.
Mhm.
Um, so that's what I would go with next, but that's just my personal
Hmm.
opinion.
Yeah, he also has the plus strength catcher, which is also, excuse me, really good. It has leap and it has wrestle, so this is a sacker right here.
Yep. So
Um,
well, now he's got two. He used to have three, but that is a fantastic sacker. Um, I'm assuming he's going to get strip ball next too, because if you get him strip ball, even if he's throwing red dices,
hmm.
you're getting the ball off him. Well, I think that's what
Has he?
60% of the time.
Okay. 60. Let me think. With wrestle and strip ball, and tackle, if on a one die you are taking the ball. Well,
We're assuming he doesn't have strip or he doesn't have sure hands.
let's say if they have sure hands, then it's a 50-50. If they don't have sure hands, then it is 5 and 6 to
So it's,
to remove the ball. Actually, taking the
yeah,
ball
it's
is a little bit harder, of
87%.
course.
Yeah, just getting the ball on the
Mm-hmm.
floor.
Yeah.
So
Uh, and this team has played its Week 12 game, which is why it has two War Dancers.
oh, I didn't see that there's another one down there.
Mm-hmm.
I also see the tree is MNG'd, which is
Mm-hmm.
not what you want going into the final game of the season, but at least your tree won't die.
Yep. It seems that in addition to chlorine, the other War Dancer is aluminium.
All right.
Okay. And that one has strip ball. Okay.
I would actually you would think that if you're gonna have a chlorine war dancer, the other one would be named sodium.
I think he already had. I think he had a sodium actually.
Oh,
Oh, you know what? I think. Oh, okay. We're gonna talk about this team more probably when we get to the next week's matches. I want to
all
take
right.
a quick look at the right here, the Werewolves of Wall Street. The Werewolf of Wall Street, actually. There's only one Werewolf of Wall Street. Never mind that there's two on the team. They are not the Werewolf Wolf of Wall Street. Neither of them are. They're like his son or sons or something. Um,
Okay.
they're the
This
pups
is
of the Werewolf of Wall Street.
this is a really nice looking necro team,
uh,
or at least the start of one.
yeah, one of the wolves has Mighty Blow. That's pretty good. Both flesh golems have blocked. No golem attacks yet. Movement 9 ghoul.
Oh, that's nice. Get that one blocker wrestle like ASAP. And then both the wolves are only 2 to 1 SPP away from leveling again.
Mhm.
Hopefully, the Biodynamic Stab and Slash can get another double. Or
Uh,
if I am in the same division as him next season, I hope he doesn't roll another
I
double.
mean, this is REL, so I'm assuming that one of them will roll double and the other one will roll a strength up.
Yeah, or an Agi up or
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
Also, Helium, former war dancer, has taken up fouling as a hobby.
As he should. Get on the winning side, Helium.
All the cool kids are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
There is no skeleton. No, it's Necro. They don't get skeletons. Never mind. I do know that this ghoul appears to be niggled. But yeah, like overall, this looks like a pretty solid team. The TV is a little bit high for what's on it. I think it's a little bit heavy in the zombie department, and I mean, I'm not gonna say don't have two ghouls when your two ghouls are these ghouls, but they are definitely bloaty compared to the other positionals.
I like those ghouls mainly because Fast McDodge guy is his only guard piece. He definitely needs to get some more guard on this team. And then Ball Handler Lower Armor. I actually really like these names. I mean, he's movement 9. Like you can't get rid of that, especially on this team.
Yeah, no, like these are great ghouls, but they have a ton of doubles and stat ups, so they are really pricey relative to where they, to the other important players.
Yeah, but Fast McDodge guy's got a niggle, so he's gonna die fairly soon anyway.
True enough.
But that's not bad.
And he has a beer
Use
stand.
him until he dies. Ooh, nice.
Gotta get that werewolf surfing going on. I love it.
As all frenzy teams should. I'm saving up for a beer stand myself. So
okay.
It's always funner when the crowds are drunk and belligerent.
Okay. Looking at the leaderboard quickly, we have Rejdorf's in a demanding first place lead. If one of the wins has not been turned into a draw, which I am still unclear on, if that has not happened, they are locked in. If that has happened, the only ones who could beat them are Mistake.
Yep.
Whom they are still ahead of by at least 3 points.
Well, Mistake's already played, so...
Yeah, actually, Mistake has played, so if they lose this game and then they lose next week, which, again, we'll get to in a minute, then Mistake would be... tie? Wait, there's only one more game left after this week.
Yeah.
Right. If one of these wins is a draw, and Mistake wins his next game, and the Rejdorfs lose both of their next games, then Mistake will be in first. And this is a big if, because it's relying upon a ruling that we don't even know for sure happened.
I'm not even sure what we're talking about. I hear you talking about it week after week, and I still don't understand where that whole win became a draw thing.
Okay, but I saw a leaderboard somewhere once where he had less wins and more draws than he shows in client. It might have even been for the Rada report. Actually, I don't remember anymore. And that is where this whole thing comes from. And it might be that I'm just completely wrong, okay? I admit it. It's possible. But considering how many admin wins he got, I honestly think it would be fair if one of those turned into a draw.
I mean, a lot of people in this division got a bunch of admin wins, though.
Actually, it was really inconsistent. He got he got more admin wins than any other team in this division.
Yeah.
Some of which only got like 2, or some of which only got 1 or 2. Most of them got 2. Some of them got 1. He got 3.
Gotcha.
Anyway. Yes, Mistake, but if one of his wins turns into a draw, then he'll be on 39 points, which is just barely reachable for you. Okay, so, week 12. Where is he? Rejdorfs versus Oh, I forgot about this. Okay, yeah, you know what? He's locked in. He's gonna get it.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Well,
Oh.
I mean, if anybody could beat Rage Dwarf as goblins, it's Ravenpoe.
Yes, but
But
let's be real. I don't.
it's really hard for goblins to beat dwarves in
Maybe a
general.
miracle will happen and this will be a draw, but there is no way in this world that this is going to be a win for the goblins.
You never know. He might get
Oh.
diced.
And this is me saying that. Okay, but I do want to look at week 13 for a moment, actually, because ignoring what is probably going to be just an important and likely one-sided game. In week 12, we have Rajdorf versus the Elements of Style.
That would just be fun to watch, just in general.
Imagine, though, if that perfect match did happen, Rajdorf lose against the goblins, and their score is actually lower, like I think it was, despite most evidence. This would be the first and second place team playing for the playoff spot. Because if
It would basically be the playoffs starting a week early for these two teams.
If Mistake won that match, he would be in playoffs. But if it was any other result, then he wouldn't be. But some incredibly specific things need to happen. Again, including figuring out what the hell's going on with that ruling. And I just really want to see that, okay? I don't care how unlikely it is. I want to see it.
All right.
Okay. Now that let's get off my soapbox. I've already sort of talked about a game for next week. What game do you want to watch?
I would actually like to check out Hausdorff's Homewreckers versus Werewolf of Wall Street. I really like that Necro team, and I want to see it do well. Not that I don't like Hausdorff's Homewreckers, but it's I don't know. I don't like Chorfs.
I mean, that's fair. A lot of people have that opinion, and I disagree with them generally. Actually, no. Chorfs are definitely the type of team where it's really annoying when a lot of people are playing them. But when there's a reasonable number of them, I think they're fine.
Yeah. Just one in a division.
It's like the same thing as Chaos or some of the other teams, where if there's a ton of them, you just want to tear your hair out. But if there's just a couple, then it's perfectly fine.
For me, it comes from me trying to relearn the game after being off for a long time in CCL, and everyone's playing Chorf. Especially when you get matched up against Crucifer over and over and over again. But that's neither here nor there.
And, Mistake, I suggest you talk to Haringzor to double-check that, because now that I'm thinking about it more, I am pretty sure where I got this crazy idea was from one of his things. And maybe we're both wrong, even. I genuinely don't know. But anyway, let's move on to 9C. Wait.
The wait?
11 out of 4. Did we lose a player in 9C?
Yes, we did.
Did we lose
Dauntless Unicorns is no longer with us.
Oh. And that's a recent dropout, right?
It happened this week on there was some drama.
Or it looks like Dauntless Unicorn. Well, they played week 9. They did not play week 10, and we're on week 11. So yeah, it sounds like there was drama. That's unfortunate.
There was the game started. We'll say that. But unfortunately,
that's not good.
And unfortunately, they are no longer playing this season. But
okay,
moving on.
So Dead Presidents versus. Oh no! Wait, no. They're not here either. Right, yeah. I remember that one. I just got the name mixed up. It's because they have dwarfs in the name, so I think they're a dwarf
I know,
team, and it's the Chaos
weird.
Dwarf team that got removed. Anyway, Economies of Scale versus the Rock and Sock'ems.
Yeah, so that was a fun game. So we didn't talk about this last week because they were playing the game as we were doing our review. But Economy of Scale actually lost to All Orc No Play, which lost them the lead of the division and their undefeated, unblemished record.
Yes! Yes!
And then in match day 11, I did everything I could to win this game against Economy of Scale, including knocking out 4 of his Saurus, I think, in the first 2 or 3 turns. They all came back at halftime, though.
Of course they did.
He MNG'd both my witches. I was so close to getting a 1-1 draw at halftime, but he took Hemlock, who's the stabber guy, and I only had enough players to screen off one side of the field, and the only person on the other side that could take down my ball carrier before scoring at halftime was the stabber on my Blodge Step Witch, and he stabbed her into MNG.
But you did get the draw.
I did end up getting the touchdown that I needed early in the second half, and then I think turn 14 or something like that. He had the source. He had a source with the ball, and he was just tunnel visioned into going ahead and getting that source touchdown. Snake-eyed a tripwire at the goal line, and then that was both of our last rerolls. We were done with rerolls, and we had nothing but first action failures for the last 3 turns for both of our teams.
Well, what an exciting way to end the match. You said you only had enough L's for 1/2. Was it bad weather?
Enough L's for 1/2.
To screen 1/2 of the field.
Oh, no. So I was going up the left side in the first half, and he had kind of cornered me in. So I needed to pivot to the center of the field. All of his Saurus were on the left side of the pitch.
I see.
So I was able to screen all of them off. His Crocs and Hemlock were tied up on the right side. I was able to make 3 corners of a cage. And the only thing that could have hit that witch was a dodge from Loner Hemlock into which he's got a dodge reroll anyway. But it's like,
so it was less a case of not having enough elves and more not having the elves where you needed them.
Exactly.
I see. But yeah, like, I know you were really hoping for the win. I mean, you just said as much, really. But honestly, I'm quite happy with this result.
I was very happy too. I was going into that game thinking that I was going to get walloped because the Economy of Scale had been running through pretty much everybody.
And
so
I'm sorry if it seems like I am being a little unfair to okay, I'm actually drawing a blank on your
Furl?
Yeah, Furl. That's it. I knew it started with an F. I know it might seem like I'm being a little unfair to you. That's not really the case. I mean, maybe it is the case a little bit. I'll admit, I'm biased. Okay? I wanted you to earn to really earn that first place position, ideally by suffering at least one loss. And I think if you got it at this point, you definitely have earned it.
If you can go through the season with a letter division season with only 2 bye weeks and go undefeated, I feel like you did earn it.
Okay, so on the one hand, yes, like objectively, you're right. On the other hand, I never want to see it happen where a coach gets a perfect season. I don't want it to ever happen, and I really don't want it to be a lizard coach.
What if it's you? Are you going to throw the last game?
That's a good question. Well, I'm not that good anyway, so it's sort of a moot point. Moving on, the next game is the Crawdads Idaho Experience versus Mammals of Unusual Size.
All right, let's take a. I watched part of this game, but I think I was drunk, so I don't remember it.
Well, Amazons out damaged the humans. Looks like
Oh,
blocks are
I
about
did.
even, so they just got better armor rolls. It seems
I did see
injury rolls actually.
Amos Moses got retired. I remember watching that part. He took an armor bust, and Rock Lobstrosity did fire with the game.
But despite outbashing the humans outscored the Amazons.
It actually doesn't surprise me that the Amazons outbash the humans. I mean, they're both technically bash teams, and they're both not great bash teams, but I think the Amazons are a better bash team than humans are.
I don't know. Like, I mean, humans have more armor, so I would expect them, and they have more strength access. So,
Kinda.
also their blitzers are kind of more mobile. Like, they don't have dodge, but they have more movement.
Yeah, but it's just the dodge spam. I think makes them makes the Amazons just that much more harder to bring down. So then they can hit back.
In this case, though, the Amazons just got better injury dice.
Yeah.
It's 9 armor breaks to 10, and the humans KO'd 2 Amazons, and the Amazons KO'd 4 humans and injured 2.
Yep. And it looks like Crawdad lost a KO to like a dodge or something. And
That's actually weird. How?
oh wait, no, I'm
how does he have fewer KOs sustained than the Amazons have KOs inflicted?
Does it count as a KO inflicted if your chainsaw KOs himself?
Did the Amazons have a chainsaw?
They did. They brought Helmet Wolf.
Okay, that's got to be it then.
Yeah.
That is a weird. That's weird. Okay, you know what? I learned something new today about the inane. It's not insane, but it is definitely inane. Stat tracking of cyanide. Moving on, we have the Fat Earthers versus All Orc and No Play, with the Orcs winning 2-0 against the now not technically undefeated Ogres.
Yeah, go Ogres. All loner Snotlings, so no Snotlings got rebought after the Ogre bye week. But it looks like he bought a new Ogre, so now he's at 6 Ogres.
Yeah,
that's probably what he
go
did with his
Ogres.
money. Which that's what I would do. Why play Ogres if you're not going to play with 6 of them?
Looks like they were out blocked and out bashed.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Orcs are definitely a team that can do that.
Yeah, they're a hyper bash team, and especially when all the Black Orcs already have block, and you have 3 guard on the team, you can hit the specific ogre that you need to. You've got 2 tackle on there as well, so you can hit the Nobblers. Plus, all of your other guys have block too, so they can hit them too.
Yeah, like, it's not hard for Orcs to die ogres.
Yeah. By the end of the game, he only had 1 Nobbler that was not injured.
Well, okay then. The next one is that's a bye week. Mystery Science Goat 3000 versus Redmond Rage, which was a draw.
Which is nice for Redmond Rage. I don't know where they are in the Stumpy Cup anymore, but I'm sure you.
I believe they're in 3rd place.
Nice.
So they're actually doing quite well.
So they've got they only took 2 injuries, which is surprising for a halfling team, and only sustained 4 KOs.
Yeah, they completely outblocked the Chaos team.
43-19. Wow.
What else? Okay, so they got Deeproot and the Chef. What else did they induce? They got
300,000. I think that's it.
Okay,
that's 400.
so...
That's 400,000 right there. They had to use some of their own cash to get both of those things. It looks like.
I feel like they should have with this number of blocks, I feel like they should have a third big guy. But maybe the trees were just took a lot of hits. I mean, they gave a lot of hits, rather. Like, that could happen. If you give a sacrifice to each tree and they don't take a root, that can turn into a lot of blocks.
Yeah, I haven't seen the take root rolls, but Deep Root Strong Branch took 16, Red Maple Mayhem took 13, and Frank the Firebush took 5 blocks.
21 successes, only 3 failures. So that's probably where most of the block, well, at least half of the blocks came from. Yeah. Just the trees, just the 2 trees actually, because Deep Root does not take root.
Mm-hmm.
That is somewhat ironically, considering his name.
You would think he would.
Mm-hmm. But no, he does not. So, yeah, these blocks are at least, I would say, 75% of them are from the trees, probably.
Oh yeah, they definitely are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the League Manager game. The majority of them are all in the trees.
Yep, and despite having twice as many blocks, the Chaos did still get more removals because, hey, halflings.
Yep.
Okay. Any teams you would like to look at?
Let's look at, since they are the new number 1, Nerves.
Okay. Yes, I am loving this, and not just because I voted for them in the Rider Report contest. Proved Gengar wrong, though. I think. Wait, no, Gengar might have also picked Nerves. Actually, I don't.
I'm the one who picked Economy of Scale.
Okay then, great. That means I proved you wrong then. Huh.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Anyway, this is a pretty good undead team, I think.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of that I would want differently is doubles on the mummies, but you can't really ask for that. It's like one of those things that happens.
I mean, you can definitely ask for it, but that doesn't mean you get it.
Exactly. But it's a solid team. The only thing that confuses me, and maybe it's just because Undead play differently than Necro, which I played more of than Undead, is I never see an Undead team with 4 ghouls, but he's definitely got it.
No, you see that sometimes because they don't have werewolves. So
yeah,
the ghoul is your default ball carrier, really. And if you can afford to do it, then the ghouls are almost strictly better than zombies. Like, almost, because they can't really take a hit as well. But they kind of can because they have dodge. At least until they go down. Then they just get murdered because, no regen.
Yeah. It does suck that there's no regen on those guys.
But if you want to, but for maximum mobility, you do sometimes see 4 ghouls, and I generally don't know if that's really good or not. Like, it might be suboptimal. I don't know. I don't play undead.
When I played, I've always played 3. I'll have 2 sackers and 1 ball carrier. But I mean, that's just how I play. So might not be right.
I suspect that it is the case where at lower TV you don't want 4, but at higher TV you can get away with it. Of course, having said that, undead don't want to get super high TV anyway.
Yeah.
Like, this is a good TV range. You probably don't want to get too much higher than this. Maybe if it's all in your mummies, but you don't really want too much more team value going on to other players at this point.
Yeah, and he'll actually lose 70k in team value if he can shave off some of his bank, because he's at 220k.
That is true. Does he have he has a stadium enhancement, the referee rest area, to get even more fouling in.
As you should, as an undead team. You want to remove everything with 2 dirty players. It's nice to have a bribe.
I think most of his skill choices are pretty good as well. I don't love dodge on this white. I feel like that feels suboptimal to me. And it's not even like it's bad, like dodge is objectively a good skill. But I feel like there are better skills he could have taken on a double. And I don't like block on this zombie.
I feel like dodge is okay, but with that many ghouls, you don't really need the dodge there. But it is nice because most teams aren't going to be spamming tackle, and when you've already got 4 ghouls, they're going to be the prime target for your tackler to go after.
Yeah.
So that means your Blodge White isn't going to be targeted with tackle very often, which makes it harder for him to die.
At least until you run into a claw team. Then you're absolutely going to target that white.
Yeah. So I can see why you would want a Blodge White.
Yeah, plus, no, like it's not that it is bad. I just feel like it could have been a better choice. And really, it's the same thing with the Block Zombie. Block is never a bad choice, but there were probably better choices here.
Yeah, but the other thing is too that I'm thinking of is like, what all could you do with the Blodge White? And like one of them is if he's tied up, you now have a 1 in 9 to get that key blitz you need with him if everybody's tied up. So
that is true.
So I don't know. Just trying to play devil's advocate right now. I don't hate the dodge roll. So
yeah, no, like that's fair.
So jump up would be awesome if you're trying to do a lot of palming.
I think this dodge is not going to serve him well in playoffs. Let's put it that way.
Fair. I think the winner of this division goes up against one of the nastiest Chorf teams I've ever seen in my entire life too, though. So yeah.
Okay. I really want to see how he does in playoffs, though. I hope he does well.
Me too. I'm cheering for you, Nerves.
You know, just make sure you win next week, and also this week. As for me, I want to look at Red Runt Rage. So this team actually has a lot of development on it.
Yep, and only 10 players, so that means they get a free halfling.
Yeah, like this is a 900 TV halfling team that doesn't even have a full roster.
Yeah.
I feel
so it'd be at 9:30.
I feel like that is a little bit iffy. Like, I mean, I don't really ever want to say start firing your halflings because they'll trim themselves fast enough. But there is a lot of level ups on these halflings. And one of them is movement up, which is great, but most of these are just diving tackle. And like I like the diving tackle spam. I can definitely get behind that. But also like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 100. This is 4 halflings worth of team value in skills you don't really care about.
I get that. The one that I would maybe want to go ahead and retire would be Mean Ginger Bean. But the rest of them, I feel like you just use them as basing until they die, like when you need it in a key area. Because like you're right, they will trim themselves eventually. And as long as you are conscious of who you're playing next and adjust your team value accordingly.
That is very true.
I think you'll be fine.
As long as you have the right TV ratio to get the inducements you need, you can totally afford to just keep them until you need to fire them.
Exactly.
The trees both have guard. One of them has grab as well. I'd love to see... Okay, actually, here's a question for you. What do you take on a double on a tree?
Double on a tree. I would say the first one gets block. The second one gets jump up.
I agree that the first one is probably block. I'm not so sure about the second one. I mean, like,
you don't have to worry about the 40% to get up when you have jump up. Or the 50% to get up.
I mean, yeah, jump up is probably the right choice.
Yeah.
And probably doing it in that order is probably the right choice, even. Although, I think there is a strong argument for taking jump up first, actually.
I do. I get that too, and I've had this debate with other people with trees before as well. Do you even want block on a tree? Because if he roots, you can't say don't use block on both down.
Like last season, Hardingsword famously had a block jump up tree who took root every time, and then he could not knock him down to take advantage of jump up.
So it might be that you don't want block at all.
To that effect,
maybe
I think
wrestle if you don't want turnovers.
That would be interesting. I would not take wrestle if I did not have jump up first on a tree. Like, if I took jump up first, maybe I would consider it, but that's a funny thought. Yeah,
So
I think
not
there is
that
a strong argument for pro though as well.
Yeah, pro's good. Because it's the same. Well, is it? Because if it's gonna be a turnover, you're gonna use the team reroll because they don't have loner.
Mm-hmm.
So pro isn't as valuable on the treeman as it is on other big guys.
Yeah, but take root is not a turnover.
That's true.
Standing up is not a turnover.
That's true. Okay.
Throwing halflings is usually not a turnover.
Usually.
Pro is really useful on a tree because it lets you reroll one of the many things that can go wrong with it, and then still have your reroll later.
Yeah, I get that.
And like you're right, I think I think if I were comparing this to an ogre, yes, an ogre, but also a troll, it is better on those big guys than it is on the tree man. But it's still really good on the tree man.
That's true. I mean, I don't hate pro, but I think I would do jump up.
Yeah, that's fair.
Personally.
That's fair. I'm actually not sure which one I would take. I think it would depend a lot on my team and on the situation. But I think I would probably have jump up ahead of pro as well. In most cases. Okay, let's take a quick look at the leaderboard. In first place we have Nerves, which I love. 2 points behind him is Economies of Scale. Meaning there is a chance that the Lizards could regain their first place position.
It is possible,
but
yes.
if they do, then they will not end. They will end with one loss. And that's all I wanted. It's all I wanted. And honestly, they will have really, really, really earned it at that point.
Yeah.
Let's see, they're in second place. All Orc, No Play are in third with only 4 points behind Nerves, actually. So I think even they could technically take it.
Yeah.
Everyone below that is out, though.
Actually, I don't know if they can. Nerves is not one of the teams that has a bye week in the last 2 weeks. I thought they were, but
okay.
No.
So they could take it then, because you're right. If they had a bye week in the next 2 weeks, that would be a completely different story.
Yeah.
That would be a big, well, what you gonna do? I also want to point out Redmond Rage, who are currently sitting in 10th with 4, 1, and 6, which doesn't sound so great, but for halflings, that's actually pretty damn good.
That's really good.
That is a not getting relegated position for a halfling team. If they were in a division that got relegated.
Yeah. There's nowhere to go but up from the bottom. So we're all going up.
I mean,
unless you reroll.
Also, I'm in 10th in REL 1 right now, so I certainly can't talk. Looking at games from this week, we have Nerves versus Dead Presidents, which I think is Undead versus Undead.
It is. It'll be interesting.
And a very important game, of course. We also have the Fat Earthers versus Redmond Rage.
Stunty off. I actually kind of really want to watch that one.
I mean, honestly, I think this will probably be pain for one of these two coaches.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of potential for just being really boring, because there's a lot of dodge and absolutely no tackle.
And no block.
Or even block, yeah. So this could be just a really dull game as well, but I still am interested.
The thing is, though, when blocking dice fail, you throw players at other players.
Oh, yes.
And you can do that as a stunty coach.
Imagine 32 turns where a player gets thrown every single turn.
God, I hope that happens.
I want to see it. I want to see it so much. I also want to quickly mention on the, let's see. I'm just looking at the last week of the, I think Economy of Scale is going to be really praying that Nerves drops this game. Uh, um, I think that's what they want and what they need to get back into first place.
Yeah. So it looks like they've got so Nerves has Dead Presidents,
Mm-hmm.
which I think Nerves can beat that one. It's a mirror match, so it's going to come down to
Mm-hmm.
who's going to get removals first. But Nerves, I've played both of them now. And they're both good coaches, but I think Nerves is going to be able to do it. And then they got Red Runt Rage
Mm-hmm.
afterwards, which they don't have a whole lot of tackle on their team, so it could be interesting. And I definitely know that
Mm-hmm.
Scambammer is going to be going hard trying to get these last 2 wins to sneak into the playoffs with the Stunty Cup. So
Uh,
that might potentially be an
mm-hmm.
upset.
Speaking of that, actually, I need to double check the numbers on this, but there are only 2 coaches in the Stundy Cup who have the maybe 3 actually. I don't have it up right now to check.
Oh.
There are 2 or 3 teams aside from Ravenpose that have a chance of getting that Stunty Cup, and all of them need a perfect Ravenpo drops everything, they win everything scenario.
Gotcha.
Of those teams, I know one of them for sure. One of the Ogre teams, they just need the 2 wins, and they need Ravenpo to get 2 losses, and that's the end of it. The other 2 ones, one Goblin team and Red Runt Rage, I'm less certain about, and the reason I'm less certain about is because they both had late starts, so I'm not 100% sure how the matches from before they entered factor in. If they do not, if those losses from before they started playing do not factor in, then they're in that situation. But they're out if those losses count.
That was really confusing to me, but okay.
Okay, so Red Road Rage started in like week 2 or 3. So he has
Oh,
two
yeah,
or
yeah,
three
latecomer.
admin losses from the team he inherited his spot from, which makes 10th even more impressive, incidentally. The
Yeah.
4-1 and 6 record, even more impressive. And depending on whether or not those losses count for him, matters for whether or not he can qualify for the Stunty Cup.
He might have only got 1 loss because I played him in week 2.
Even if he only has 1 loss, that loss makes the difference. If it doesn't count,
Yeah.
he has a chance. If it does count,
Yeah.
then he is just narrowly out.
No, he played week 1 too. So
Did he
he's
really?
been there since. Yeah, he played
Uh,
Crawdad Side Deco Experience week 1.
well, who the hell was I thinking of? I could have sworn he started late.
He came last minute.
Okay, that's probably it then. Okay, apparently I'm just full of shit. Actually, no. I know for the other team that is in that position, that is definitely the case, where they have admin losses that may or may not count. But apparently it doesn't matter for Red Rage, and he's just in the same situation as the Ogres, where he just needs a perfect sequence of events.
Go get it.
So, it's unlikely, but it could happen. It could happen.
I mean, how likely is it for Ravenpo to win both games?
I mean, he's not going to win both games. He might win one of them, though. And actually, even getting a draw will probably lock him in.
But so the Ravenpo losing to is not the hardest part of the situation. It's the other stunty teams winning both their last 2 games.
Exactly.
So then they don't even have to worry about Ravenpo at this point.
I mean,
just win your last 2 games.
I mean, they should be watching Ravenpo closely because, again, like if he gets a draw, then he might eliminate some of them. But you're right. Like the number one thing is they just need to win both of their next 2 games. All of those coaches that are competing for that coveted, most precious of prizes, the Stunty Cup. They just need to win their last 2 games, and then they have a chance of getting it.
I really wish that we sent out like a thimble-sized trophy to the winner of the Stunty Cup.
Oh, you know what?
Every season.
I definitely need to talk. We need to talk to Metal about that. We need to make it happen for next season. It's probably too late for this season, but next season we can make it happen.
That'd be great.
Okay, I think we're about done. So,
yeah.
Without further ado, I've been Cass Blue.
And I've been SP Twiggy.
And we've been Team Fallow, bringing you the recap. Until next time, have good games. Bye.
Bye.